Back here on championship court at the APP Chicago Open presented by Lexus. Feeder match 2, the bronze medal match here on championship court. On one side of the net, your 5 seed, Anna Bright and Dylan Frazier, taking on your 18 seed, Mary Brascia and James Ignatowich. That 18 seed is very deceiving, as James and Mary, two very formidable players, good players, and I'm thinking this is going to be a battle. As you can see here, the bracket, that winner bracket final we just had for you, Johnson & Johnson, Coop and Navratil, Johnson & Johnson moving on. And on the bottom side, you see that consolation bracket, Bright and Frazier, Brascia, Ignatowich. Winner of this match will face off in the bronze medal match against Andrea Coop and Zane Navratil. Predictions here, Chad, as we move on to this game to 15?
Well, we've seen Ignatowich kind of step up his doubles game. It started about a month ago. He really turned it on out at Newport Beach with MLP.
Yep.
And he's deceptive. Right, he doesn't look like he's going to hit it real hard. He's kind of smooth. It's similar to JW.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden it just explodes off the paddle. And we had a little discussion here. It's like, kind of, does he know where it's going, or is it just like rip it, grip it and rip it kind of deal?
Yep.
But I think, it's as always, it's going to come down to the guys, like who's going to be aggressive and who's going to step in. Frazier's been playing really well lately. With the movement and stepping in there, but I think Anna Bright is the wild card in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. She is very aggressive, and when she gets hot, she's streaky.
Yeah.
And if she's on fire and playing well, could cause problems. Nice hands there from Frazier. He expected that misdirect there from Brascia, and they get the side out.
Yeah, that was short and quick, and I think Mary caught Mary by surprise as well with how fast Dylan got over there.
Let's go.
And good hands again, right on cue, like you said, Chad. Ignatowich with very nonchalant, quick hands.
Yeah, I'd like to see Frazier stay middle there when he stepped in to attack. He kind of tried to go back left, and Ignatowich just powered back through the middle.
That ball almost trickles over off the paddle of James Ignatowich. On the board first are Bright and Frazier. Again, 1 game to 15. Teams will switch ends at 8. Sailing long. Nice battle there from all 4 players, Chad.
Yeah, but that's what Bright's looking for. She's, again, we saw Coop in the match previous to this. She's sitting two-handed backhand attack. That's what Bright does as well. She'll stay in the forehand cross-court dink, but she's looking to attack or counter-attack with the two-hander.
Quick 3-0 lead for Bright and Frazier here.
3-0-2.
Good adjustment there from Ignatowich off the tape from Frazier. Again, that fastball to change-up adjustment.
Yeah, that one caught a little too much net cord. That one became more like an ephes. She had a lot of time to adjust on that one for Ignatowich. Oh!
Second server.
It was just out.
Just missing.
But I thought that was going 3 feet deep.
Yep. Ignatowich had a lot of topspin on that ball.
0-3-2.
You look at Ignatowich, he's so raw, right, Chad?
Yeah.
And I see a lot of a deckle bar type player in him, where if he can learn to drive that third and then drop the fifth,
Yeah,
he tends to drive.
They've done a good job of getting a couple balls into the kitchen, but they didn't come forward.
Right.
So then that ball goes back, and then you turn back into driving. So yeah, if he can figure out that transition, which is probably the biggest part of the game today, is the transition area. It used to be the drop, now it's that transition.
Because he has the power game from both sides, the forehand and the backhand. He's got the two-handed backhand. Now as he starts to develop into that, that transition area, like you said, and work that drop in there and then work his way up, will set up his power game. He was trying right there.
He was listening. Just got a little ambitious. Got caught with his feet moving.
Just catches the line right there.
How?
I don't know.
I'm looking for the wind, and that thing like fell off the end of a table.
See, it just drops like a sack of hammers right there on the line. And Ignatowich and Brascia on the board. Well, and there it was right there. He went drive to drop, worked his way up, got into position, but Frazier hits that ball just out of his reach.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the transition as well. Is not always about how quick you get through that transition area. So Frazier able to catch Ignatowich with his feet still moving.
Brascia just getting a little handcuffed and too much happy feet right there, not set.
4-1-1.
Yeah, wow. That's the movement. That's the movement. That's the power. Once that ball's up, Ignatowich is not going to let off the gas pedal. Moves really well coming across in front of Brascia. And once he's extended, that's just raw power coming out.
Let's go.
Wow. Oh, you think he's sitting on that right there, Chad?
I mean, he's fast enough. He's actually centered body right there. And it's just short, quick, lay it back, and accelerate through.
1-4-1.
Let's go.
Oh, Bright. It's a little ambitious there. Ignatowich kept it just enough away from her.
Yeah, it was a good ball by Ignatowich. Just
2-4-1.
I mean, Bright had maybe a couple of inches to the sideline there, but when you're moving in that direction and trying to really extend out, it's tough.
Couple nice digs from Brascia. Wow. I mean, some incredible digs in the middle of that point and then at the end from Mary Brascia just to keep them alive.
Yeah, I mean, all of those balls are going down low. They're going at her feet. She's doing a phenomenal job of not trying to do too much with the paddle. She's just keeping the paddle face open, using the power coming from Bright and Frazier to generate it to come up and drop back down.
Let's go. Sorry, Dylan.
Wow. And right at the, I mean, he is apologizing, but that's the right shot.
That's the right shot.
He didn't get him in the chest or the
No.
throat like you want to hit people, Chad, but he got him in the shins.
Well, that one's high. That one's high. That one needs to go down.
Oh, Frazier's sitting on that misdirect there.
I like the idea from Brascia. She just didn't quite sell it as well. Right, it's this big sweeping motion across.
I mean, she had her blinker on the whole time.
Yeah, that's something for her to work on. Just hold the paddle there,
4-4-2.
and then you can use the wrist to go whichever direction you want, rather than that big sweeping sweeping swing across.
4-4-2. Point.
So you see, Ignatowich goes, let's go, but then he almost apologized.
Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that like that and that loud
5-4-2.
for your mistake.
You. Great
Oh.
stall.
Point.
I mean, that's a
Brascia's
great point there.
defense is on point right now. I mean, and it's tough when you've got somebody like Ignatowich moving back and forth, because he moves a lot, and he's moving quick.
1 minute.
He comes over, takes a swing, and you've got to try to read where that ball's going and watch his paddle as well and still keep yours there. Tough thing to do.
And a 4-1 lead for Brighton Frazier. Brascia and Ignatowich answer with a 5-0 run of their own to take a 6-4 lead. They forced a timeout from Brighton Frazier. Chad, you're in their corner right now, Brighton Frazier. What do you need to tell them right now to get them back in this, as they had all the momentum early?
Yeah, I mean, it's Ignatowich has stepped up. He, like I said, he's moving a ton. He's speeding a lot of balls up. I think potentially stretch him out a little bit more, right? Go back behind him, go a little bit softer ball behind him. If he wants to speed up from that way, backhand, slide across. Bright's going to slide across, rip that two-hander. Frazier's going to come over. But it also isolates Brascia. So she's doing a fantastic job of defense, but she's defending all hard balls.
Yeah.
Get her into a little bit of a cross-court dink, see what she's going to do with that, and then go behind Ignatowich.
6-4-2.
All right, well, as we come back in, 6-4 lead here for Brascia and Ignatowich. And on cue, we've seen Ignatowich make an adjustment early where he's gone drive to drop now, and he's working his way through that transition area. So it's in there. He's just got to stick with it.
Yeah, and I think part of it too is he's a very excitable guy. Like he's always full energy. So when you start moving through a little too quickly, it's hard to slow yourself down.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah, I remember in Jersey, we got done playing for the day. There was a long live stream. We got done at like 7. Ignatowich was on court playing with his buddy, and he was like grabbing me. He's like, hey, let's go play. You want to play? You want to play? I'm like, James, you just played a full day. He's like, I'm good. Oh, wow. And almost with a very excitable moment, and then almost a half apology. I think giving it back to Ignatowich.
Sorry again, Dill.
Again, right off his
Yeah,
feet.
that like we said, that's the shot. That ball's sitting up. You're going down hard. The only thing I would have liked to see from Frazier there is he chose the wrong ball after he went behind Ignatowich.
Yeah.
6-6-2.
He tried coming back across. He allowed Ignatowich to get extended again.
Point. Seven, 6-2.
Brighton Frazier answer, take the lead back.
You. You.
Ignatowich just missing that. And it will be an end change on the paddle of Anna Bright and Dylan Frazier here up 8-6. Now, Chad, one thing I like to see out of Ignatowich right now, we keep harping on him and how well he's playing. They are down, but what I like is his two-handed backhand roll dink, right? And what he does with that, and then how he can disguise it, because he's dinking with the two hands, but then he also pulls the trigger with the two hands. You see so many players who do like to pull with the two hands, right? Pull the trigger with two hands,
Yeah,
go
and then
hard,
just hit a regular one-hand dink.
but then they take that left hand off and try and dink with one hand. So it's figure outable, it's readable. He's not doing that right now. He's keeping two hands on the whole time.
Yeah, and we're starting to see more people, more players with that two-handed dink, because again, it's, when you're hitting that two-handed backhand, it's a little bit more variety. It's a little bit more like a left-handed, forehand, and then the right hand's just there for guidance. So with him being able to disguise it, he can roll that two-hander out wide, or he sits, drops the face open, and accelerates through. So, we're starting to see that a lot more in the game now, where it's not just, hey, I'm going to hit hard with my two-hander and then go regular backhand dink.
Come back in, Frazier and Bright up 8-6 here. Wow, it doesn't fall over. It bounced like 3 times on the top of the net. We talk about a female player like that who I love, a female player playing that right side. It's always Michelle Esquivel when she's on fire. She uses that two-hander so well in the cross court, and she has so many options from there, and Ignatowich is developing that right now. Nice spot by Frazier down the middle.
Yeah, that's smart by Frazier. He didn't try to hit it too hard. Brascia and Ignatowich were coming over and covering. So he went softer. Put it down low. You've got to try to transition from defensive mode of a hard ball to that softer ball. Hit it again.
Oh, wow. Ignatowich didn't know that the point was still going on. He's over there going, hey, oh, my partner's still in this.
Hey, Mary, just tell your partner to stay in the point, all right?
What a gift from Brascia back at the baseline. Wow, I mean, even though Frazier gets that back over, that's all wrist from Ignatowich here in this two-hander.
Yeah, that's full extension and just accelerate through. But, figuring out that how do we go max effort to 40%?
Right.
I think that was the hardest thing for me coming to pickleball is like, I'm a max effort guy. What's it? I never in my life did somebody say, hey, hit this ball 40%.
Right. Oh, nice hands. Again. Oh, wow. I mean, just, again, nonchalant. Ignatowich, when he's playing like that, reminds me of J.W. Johnson, how just easy he makes it look.
Yeah, and the one thing he does really, really well, and we talked about it when he ripped a two-hander earlier, is his first movement is his hand, right? So he's sitting here. He might be shaded 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, wherever he's at.
1 minute.
But the hand moves first, so that's what makes him quick.
Yep.
Rather than the elbow or the shoulder moving across, and now we get a little bit bigger, it's hand. So his hand is boom there, or it's two-hand, take it straight across.
Yep.
And within that movement, as soon as the hand comes across, now you get the load through the forearm, the bicep, tricep, shoulder, and that's where the power comes from, that super short swing.
Again, whoever can do it, they need to get a camera in here because, Chad and I back here talking. We're looking at each other like people are paying attention to us, like we got a class back here. We're teaching.
I feel again, like I'm on the court right now. I'm showing somebody where we're at.
It is. But again, it was just 6-6 before the end change. Bright and Frazier answer. They go up 8-6 on the end change and then get 2 quick points and are now up 10-6, 5 points away from moving on with a date with Andrea Koop and Zane Navratil in the bronze medal match. So Ignatowich and Brascia have to have an answer here. They need this side out. They do not need to let Frazier and Bright pull any further away in this game to 15.
Time in. 10-6-2.
finally, Frazier able to get that ball behind Ignatowich, but great defense from Brascia and Ignatowich.
I mean, but there was a ball in there. I was almost when Bright sped that ball up to Ignatowich, I was like, ooh, that's bad. But she got a ball back over two-handed that was down at her toes with pace.
Oh, Frazier trying to 1-2 combo right there. Got what he was looking for, but just overhits to the sideline.
Six, 11-1. Second server.
Now, I didn't mind the second drive there because the first one, he was on his heels. So then he gained a little bit of ground, drive that next one, but then does try and drop.
6, 11-2.
Unfortunately, into the net. Second server.
Yeah, the added spin from Bright made that drop a little bit more difficult. Not the best return position when you're stacked.
No.
Bright coming cross court. She's got to try to come across the full width of the court to try to cover down the line and gets caught with the feet moving.
Ignatowich and Brascia get on the board again.
7, 11-2.
Within 4. Oh, that's a great combo there. Third shot, fifth shot, seventh shot, all Ignatowich, and the finish on the two-hander.
Yeah, and that's textbook anticipation. He's hitting that cross court into Anna Bright's backhand, knowing with that pace that it's going to come back straight to his two-hander.
Side out.
Well, now then he tried to hit that ball through everything on the other side of the net, including Anna Bright and Dylan Frazier at the same time, and thought he was going to get 3 points for it. Got to stay within. That's great point construction from Dylan Frazier right there, Chad.
Yeah, that's really smart. Pushing Brascia out, pulled her out a couple of times. She tried to get back into the court. He went back again, and then got that ball to pop up and went behind Ignatowich.
Wow, was Frazier ready for that or what, Chad?
He read that. He read that. And James had sped a couple of balls up in a row at Bright's two-hander. So already anticipating, hey, I hit that same ball last time, and he went straight at Bright's two-hander. I'm just going to sit there with my forehand.
Yeah, and he did it and did it well, and gives him and Anna Bright a 13-8 lead, up by 5 here in this game to 15. Brascia Ignatowich burning their second time out here. But again, it's too much. Dylan Frazier's getting a little more active in the middle here, taking over a little more. And again, on the speed, but then also on the point construction 2 points ago, where he had Mary Brascia moving all over the court.
Yeah, they started to isolate Brascia a little bit more. They're not trying to hit through Ignatowich. So, you know, at that end point change is where they really started to make the adjustment of keeping him honest and then really isolating Brascia, knowing that he's going to get a little antsy. He's going to want to step in and try to take a ball or speed a ball up that he probably shouldn't.
As we come back in from this timeout, 13-8 lead here for Brighton Frazier, looking to move on to the bronze medal match where Andrea Koop and Zane Navratil await.
13-8-1. Second server.
Halfway there are Brascia and Ignatowich to holding,
13-8-2.
not giving up any more points and getting that serve back. And I don't think that's a bad move at all.
No.
He just didn't execute.
No, it just got flat. Came across, big lunge, paddlehead was up, and that ball's just too flat.
14-8-2.
Match point here for Anna Bright and Dylan Frazier, 14-8. Oh, and Anna Bright goes off the tape and off of Ignatowich's body. They will move on to the bronze medal match coming up shortly against Andrea Koop and Zane Navratil. Chad, what do you see there from Bright and Frazier, and what are they going to look forward to playing against Andrea Koop and Zane Navratil?
So I think Bright and Frazier need to treat the next match against Navratil and Koop very similar to this one. Zane is going to move a lot. He's going to look to insert himself just like Ignatowich was right there. He's going to speed some balls up. Koop is going to be the one to stay in that cross court. Now, granted, Koop has her weapons as well, that two-handed backhand. So it'll be interesting to see, but I think Bright and Frazier need to come out and try to isolate Koop a little bit, see what she's going to do, put the pressure on, and Zane's one of those guys that if he's not getting a ton of balls, he's going to want to try to jump in. And like we saw there with Ignatowich speeding up a ball that he probably shouldn't, that's where Navratil is probably going to try and insert himself and do that as well.
I think you're exactly right, Chad. I think Bright and Frazier are going to face a very similar team, a little upgraded version of Brascia and Ignatowich in Navratil and Koop. We'll see that match here next on Championship Court. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, that bronze medal match here on Championship Court at the APP Chicago Open presented by Lexus.